One day, a stranger is looking at your social media profile. They quote scrolling through your smiling photos, reading the short bio where you describe yourself in a few sentences. Maybe they're discovering a song you've shared or glancing at a story you posted. And that stranger, they form an opinion about you. But the person they think they know, is it really you? Is the version of you online a reflection or something else entirely? Every day we update our digital selves. We post photos, share thoughts, react with emojis. With every interaction, we leave behind tiny fragments, and over time, these fragments merge into something new, the digital self. But how real is this version of us? How fake, and more importantly, how much does it affect who we become? For most of history, humans lived without mirrors. We could only see ourselves through the eyes of others. Now, we carry a mirror in our pockets. And that mirror shows more than just our faces. The digital version of us is built from selected moments, carefully filtered, deliberately arranged, and shaped by how we want to be seen. And at some point, that version starts to overshadow the original. People begin to know us not for who we are, but for the traces we leave online. Sometimes, even we begin to know ourselves through those traces. The digital world used to be an extension of the real one. Now, the roles are reversed. Real-life moments are often judged by how they'll look online. When we see a beautiful view, our first instinct isn't to admire it, it's to capture it. When we sit with a friend, the moment isn't fully lived until it's documented. So reality becomes something to be seen, and that desire to be seen lies at the heart of digital identity. Perceived value. Philosopher Jean Baudrillard once talked about how representations can replace reality. He called it simulacrum. It quote, "When the image, the representation, becomes more real than the real thing, and people begin to live according to the image, not the truth." Digital identity can become such a simulacrum. It reaches a point where the real you no longer matters. People judge you based on your digital version, and eventually you might start to forget who you were before the version existed. But here's the darker question. Everyone is doing this. Does reality even matter anymore? Maybe we're all pretending. Maybe we all live as who we want to be seen as. Maybe that's the new honesty, not the true self, but the ideal self. But is that honesty or a collective illusion? You meet someone online, you check out their profile, scroll through their pictures, you think you know them. But when you meet them in real life, there's a gap. Sometimes that gap is small. Sometimes it's a chasm. And sometimes you face your own digital self. You'll realize how different it is from who you really are. And in that moment, silence creeps in. Let quote S try a quick experiment. Open your phone. Go to your social media profile. Think about your last 3 posts. A story, a picture, maybe a comment. Why did you share them? Was it because you really wanted to? Or because you wanted someone to see it? To feel good about yourself? Or to fill a gap? Digital identity isn't just a reflection. It's a transaction. We trade parts of our real selves in exchange for attention, likes, and validation. But attention is like a drug. The more you get, the less it satisfies. And soon you'll need to give more to get the same feeling. That's why many people begin to consume themselves online. To look better, to seem more interesting, to be more likable. They offer up everything, and in the process, the digital self grows, while the real self fades. But is the answer to run away? No, this world is a part of us now. Digital identity doesn't have to be a threat. It can also be a tool. We can use it not as a mask, but as a window. A way to express who we truly are. So ask yourself, if the internet didn't exist, would you still be the same person? The you online, are you real or just a dream that looks real? The answer is hidden there, behind the screen, in the silence of your digital reflection.